Hi everybody, welcome to Module 3. In Module 3, you're going to be learning about building and maintaining community. But before we get started on Module 3, we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about progress so far and some reminders about navigating this course. So first of all, about progress, we're really excited about the quality of the work we're seeing. And I can tell that you're putting a lot of thought into your reading and you're responding, and also in the feedback we're giving you. So kudos to everybody for that. Some reminders. Be sure that you make your initial discussion posts by Thursday night. That way everybody has a chance to have your post be the one that they comment or reply to. Also, when you're sending messages, please send them to both of us, Sarah and Sue. One of us will be able to respond to you within 24 hours or after a weekend or holiday, if that's in the middle there. Often the weekend won't matter, but just letting you know that, it's possible you could hit us both when we're both off with our family doing something. Make sure that if you resubmit anything with fixes, or if you're turning in something after the original due date, please send a separate message to both of us so that we know to go back in and regrade. Otherwise, we're not going to know. We on Mondays and Tuesdays, we are regularly grading whatever was due on Sunday, but we don't go back through to see if we could figure out what's different. And you might have made some small change, but the system doesn't notify us of that. And so it's really incumbent on you to send us a message so we know when to go in and recheck. Okay, also, portfolio assignments always need to either be typed on the content block, if only text is required, or they need to be embedded and linked if it's a Web 2.0 tool out on the internet that you use for content creation. Then you need to be embedding and linking. So what's not allowed at all are attachment links, something where you click the link and then it downloads and then it's opened. None of that is a good thing to have in an online program. And we are trying to show you what you need to do to create content online for your students. As much as possible, the content needs to be right on the page where the student is without going anywhere. And so that's why we embed. Anyway, all links, even if you embed, you do still need to provide a nearby link, because occasionally somebody, a student, will hit your embedded frame and then their browser won't open it because of high security on their browser or it just not being up to date. So always provide that additional link. Hopefully they don't need it, but you do need to provide it. And it needs to be a user-friendly link. Basically, that means it needs to be shortened. So you can go to one of three places. You can go to bit.ly, goo.gl, or tiny.url and paste your long link in there and click shorten, and then it will provide a short link, and you use the short link on your page. Another trick you could do is just highlight the words right on your page and then use the hyperlink tool to make those words become the link. You have the option of doing either one. Okay, and then lastly, just did a quick look through 2.2, and I realize it's not completely due yet. I'm recording on Sunday night, and so some of you are still probably working, but I am noticing that a bunch of them still have only a link provided. So you do need to go back and actually embed your YouTube video. So how to do that? If you go to your YouTube video and right-click right on the video frame itself, you'll notice that there's an option to copy the embed code. So go over to your YouTube, right-click right on it, pick copy the embed code, copy it, then go over to PowerSchool to your wiki site space, the content block, and then click the source tool there and paste your code in while you're in source code mode, and then save. And you should be fine just doing that. The YouTubes come over with the correct width usually. So just remember that the width we have available is about 740 pixels. And so if anything's bigger or smaller than that, you might want to add width equals quote 740 end quote in your string of code. So, and if you have any questions, just send an email and I'll give you an example of how that should be done. Okay, so about Module 3 itself. In this module, we're going to be talking a lot, only pretty much, about building and maintaining community and why it's important for online and blended classes and what you can do to be a master at it. So when you are teaching online, you don't have the luxury of seeing your students face to face, maybe never, but definitely not often. And they don't have the luxury of seeing each other. So there's some things you have to do to build the community within the group and also with you. And it's going to pay off to do that. And every time you interact with your students and they interact with each other, every time it builds and builds and builds that community. So what we're going to be doing then is learning to understand and be able to identify techniques for building community in an online and blended environment. And you're going to actually be developing a discussion prompt, and so you'll learn how to do that supports student internalization of academic content. And then we're going to have you experience alternative asynchronous discussion tools, and you'll see one in your assignments, but you'll also be encouraged to experiment with some others as well. And then lastly, we're going to have you reflect on social media tools and how they could impact students' lifelong learning and also your own lifelong professional growth. Okay, with that, we're going to dive in and take a tour of Module 3's assignments. So here we are on the